What is come out so far is that people on the ground, especially those who were speaking to us as we were crossing at different places off camera, they were saying that they do appreciate the efforts that have been made, especially after those revelations that have come out of the Madlanga Commission. However, there were some officers who were speaking to us off camera saying that, well, they are not really countable, especially knowing themselves that they are just ordinary people who are just doing their job on the ground clean, therefore saying that it is not really something that is sitting accountable with them, especially those that have nothing to do with the Madlanga Commission. So those are the officers who spoke to us off camera. So we're about to get now some comment or views of SAMWU, the South African Municipal Workers Union here in Ekurhuleni, in terms of how they are receiving the news, but also they are thinking about the entire process. So what has also come out, though, Stephen, is the fact that the last time this process was done was in 2022, and the head of forensics within the municipality we spoke to earlier on did mention that the reason why there hasn't been any vetting since 22, it was because of the political instability, especially at the highest level of this particular department within Ekurhuleni, citing that it is actually the head of police within EMPD that has the duty to ensure that vetting does take place. But let's bring in now the regional secretary of SAMWU, Mr. Langa, here in Ekurhuleni. Bablanga, thank you very much for your time. Give us your immediate reaction to the process that is starting today, but also what has come out of the Madlanga Commission as SAMWU. What has been your attitude and your receiving of these particular revelations to where we are now with the process starting today?
No, thanks. And good day to the listeners, to the viewers at home. I think let's appreciate that the processes of Madlanga, they have not yet been concluded, So as a union, we are still studying the proceedings, and as and when the right time and space allows, we'll be able to express ourselves, having an appreciation of the holistic evidence that has been given. So we're still studying that particular process in terms of what is unfolding. So until such time that we have got a holistic overview of everybody, then that is when we'll be in a good position, from an informed position point of view, to be able to give our position on the matter.
Yeah. Historically, what has been the relations between yourself as the working class or the union that is representing workers on the ground and the municipality itself in terms of grievances? Have you received any reports from your officers on the ground in terms of any frustrations? But also, has anyone come out to you and say, we are about to undergo this process, we are concerned? Has any member from the ground come forward to you as the leadership?
No, as a union, of course, we'll appreciate that we are a majority union, not just in Ekurhuleni, but in the whole local government sector. So obviously, when we are on the ground, there are many issues that we are dealing with. As we are well aware of the go-slow that happened within EMPD, that told us organically to say that there are issues, because people cannot just engage on a go-slow if there are no issues. So of course, we are engaged in a process whereby, remember, on the 27th of November 2025, we had a march to the city where we submitted a list of demands, and part of those list of demands included part of the challenges of the city. So indeed, there are issues of which we can classify them either as grievances or as issues which are not sitting well with the membership. And through the correct structures and through that kind of a march, we indeed submitted them for the attention of management, of which they must still deal with. So we did receive a response. However, that particular response is part of what was still subjecting it to the structures of the union, so that we can consolidate a pregnant response in terms of those responses that we have received.
All right. Before embarking on this process, did the employer, the city, come to you as a union to explain to you why this process, the importance of this process, who would be subjected to this process, and what has been the communication regarding the starting of this process?
Which particular process?
The process of vetting the officers right now. Did they inform you ahead of time? Did they engage you at any level?
No. In the morning, we had a meeting with the regional office bearers of the union. And from that particular meeting, there was no indication that said there had been an engagement with the union. and also in my office as a regional secretary, I have not received any form of communication in terms of whatsoever process that has been kick-started.
Yes.
So summarily, we have not been engaged.
But are you open to it, or you still concerned, or you are still engaging leadership in terms of what will be your position on this matter going forward?
Yes, no, let's indicate that what we are leading, we are not just a stockfile or a reactionary trade union movement. You know, we are a progressive trade union movement which has been in the field, as I've indicated, for some time. And part of our pillars as a trade union is that the union constitutional, we have got an inherent responsibility to be a mandate driven by the membership on the ground. So all those issues, as I've indicated, we had the regional office bearers meeting in the morning. We had agreed in principle to say we'll subject that particular matter to the structures of the union, whereby from this particular week, the union will be engaging on what we call constituency or departmental or depot meetings, and then general meetings are going to unfold. But equally, we have also made an undertaking with the legal office of the union to be able to assist us in terms of the poster that we must be able to take on this particular matter as a union, so that when we engage from an informed position point of view. But also, let's also appreciate that local government is a very legislated terrain. So whatsoever decision that we are going to take or posture, it must also resonate with the legal authority that is governing local government. So that is where we're coming from, and that is our position up to now, because that particular matter is sub judice, to say it, because as we are saying, we are subjecting it to those two processes of consultation with membership and the legal office.
Thank you very much, Stilanga, for your time, sir.
No, thanks, much appreciated.
Thank you very much, sir. Stephen, that's Mr. Langa, the South African Municipal Workers Union, saying that they are still engaging as the leadership of the union, but also they are still going to go back down to the ground to engage with the workers themselves in terms of getting, their response and attitude on this particular matter, and those engagements will then culminate into a position of the workers' union here in municipalities. So that is the situation. But as they continue those engagements, we know that the process has officially started today. It's going to take about 2 months or more. And the city did indicate to us that they've got over 3,000 officials on the ground. And at least they are aiming to have 80 officials, whether at a senior level, middle level, or those that are soldiers on the ground, to be vetted per day. So this is going to be a long process, and once this process is done, a report will be given to the executive mayor who had sanctioned this particular vetting process. And I must also note, Stephen, that the person who was responsible, who was supposed to be ensuring that this vetting process does take place timely on annual basis, is the chief of police, who has been suspended, and this deputy, Mr. Mkhwanazi himself, has been suspended. So those two key figures within EMPD are out on suspension, and this process is undergoing without their presence, without their oversight as the leadership. So that's the latest from us here. We've heard from the city, and now we just heard from the stakeholder representing the workers themselves.